Bros just opened to one of the softest preview numbers I think I've ever seen, at least in modern times. And I just don't understand why. I mean, is the niche for this film just not there? Because Hollywood seems to think that there is a niche for this film. They think it must be pretty large. The mainstream media seems to think that there's a niche for this film. But is there? Let's dive in. Here we go. I'd like to start here. At some point in time, all IPs are new IPs. Pretty simple concept. I say this because, well, you will frequently hear that, an excuse when it comes to producing new material in Hollywood, that new IPs don't have a built-in audience. No kidding. But that's not an excuse for why they don't perform well. If you make something good, it could become a franchise. But is that really the goal? To turn everything into a franchise? Not always. So because every film is actually a risk, being risk averse in filmmaking is not a solid strategy. In fact, it's pretty silly. It's not a way to go about making films. The problem is that the new media companies that we have right now, well, they're in bed with Wall Street, and they're run completely differently than the entertainment companies that they used to be. Corporate filmmaking is now filmmaking by committee, with plenty of virtue signaling baggage that comes along with it in order to satisfy some imaginary metric that seems to indicate that you're a good company or a good person or something. Didn't know we were worried about those things. I don't think we should be. What's happening because of this is IPs are being destroyed, and I don't think anybody can argue with that. But returning to the main subject at hand, of course, the new film Bros, Billy Eichner and many others actually put together a romantic comedy. And they actually sought to bring the current culture around gay relationships and gay dating culture, well, to screen so that you could see it. A lot of folks thought that the timing for this film was rather poor, but how would you know in advance when you're making a film that there would be some kind of global, crisis happening around a particular disease called monkeypox that was spread by a particular kind of interaction? You wouldn't know that. One of the best reviews that I've seen for this film, which actually makes some reference to that particular situation, was done by Society Reviews. And Society Reviews is featured in a lot of places, Letterboxd, and of course his own website, and additionally on Bounding Into Comics. And actually you can find that today. So I'm going to take an excerpt from that particular review and just kind of, allow it to break down this film. Bros is a wide open window into what sex and relationships are as seen from the LGBTQ community. Wow, that's a lot to take on. The film attempts to normalize polyamorous dating, thruples, gay orgies, gender reveal gay orgies, that's weird, and hookup culture on steroids as the norm. That's as the norm for people within the LGBTQ. Wow. Interesting. He actually goes on to say that the borrowed rom-com tropes that they're trying to play within here, they don't seem to work with this particular film. At least not with the tone of this film. I imagine they worked elsewhere, and they have in the past, and we'll get to that towards the end of the video. But this particular film runs 115 minutes, and it sounds like it would be kind of a bit rough to consume because the film conflates sex with love and gives you a lot of the former, I guess. Of course, this film was never going to meet the lofty goals that were set for it by Universal and some other execs at some other studios. In fact, Box Office Pro actually set some reasonable numbers for this film at 8.8 million. I still think that's kind of high, but hey, what do I know? It made actually just under 5 million. That's not a great showing for a film with a massive marketing budget, although the production budget was reasonable, at least as far as modern film standards go. The previews, of course, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video, were a bad sign right from the beginning. Basically, the film generated $185 per screen in 2,700 theaters. Wow. This means that an average of 14 people were actually in those early showings. And again, I'm using some box office math that, well, could be inaccurate. There could have been fewer people there. It's actually not a good sign, to be honest with you. Of course, when we wake up this morning, Eichner is attacking everybody, everyone today, for being a homophobe because they didn't see this film. That's a predictable reaction, I think you will agree, and something that we call out quite early on before it actually happens. It's part of the marketing strategy now. And, well, it's part of the attention economy, which we're going to talk about in tomorrow's video on Tech Tuesday. But the reality is that there just really wasn't an audience for this particular film, at least not the way it was being told. And it was too much of one thing for one crowd and not enough of something else for the other. And that usually is a guaranteed failure. It just doesn't work. This is the kind of disconnect I think that we're dealing with regularly, at least from, well, modern cinema here in the United States. We get lectured, and that's all shoved into a film in the guise of entertainment. And you've heard that before from me and many, many others. Let me suggest a film for you. If you're looking for something that's funny, it has gay themes, and it digs into real relationships and even conquers bigotry, I would say that's a successful film if you're looking to do something like that. So, take the time to find or dig out your copy of The Birdcage. That features Robin Williams and Nathan Lane, and, well, it's absolutely brilliant. In fact, just a reminder, and it's very true, there were films that did all of this type of thing way better all the way back in 1996. In fact, even before that, because The Birdcage is stolen from an earlier film, La Cage aux Folles. So, it can be incredibly frustrating consuming material nowadays. You really are at, well, you're really placed in a no-win position. Most of us are, which is why a lot of people come here and many other channels to get some insight into the entertainment that's being produced. And believe me, I'd much rather you show up here or obviously Society Reviews webpage or Bounding into Comics to kind of get some insight before you spend your hard-earned money on something like this and find yourself frustrated. But with that being said, what do you think? Do you think that films like this have a place? In particular, films that are telling a very myopic story in a very myopic niche that doesn't give a lot of the audience something relatable, because I think that's where this film failed. And again, I haven't seen it. I might see it. Probably won't see it. Let's be fair. I probably won't see this film based on the reviews I've read. But do you think there's room for that? Do you think that really this is going to be a profitable endeavor for somebody? Doesn't sound like it, especially now that the director and the actor and well, I guess he's a co-writer in this. Especially when this type of like attack the people that didn't see it stuff comes out. I don't know how that helps your film. But anyway, is this a film you're actually going to go see for yourself? I guess that would be the second question there. And third, hey, have you seen Birdcage? Good film. Check it out. Robin Williams is brilliant in it. Nathan Lane is brilliant in it. Hank Azaria is brilliant in it. In fact, Gene Hackman is brilliant in it. Check it out. And I'll just say this. Be sure to check out other independent creators here on, well, this platform and many others you might see us on. People like Jacob at Society Reviews and obviously Bounding into Comics and many other places do incredible stuff on all of the video platforms every single day. And we need that support. They need that support. So a like, a subscription, comment is incredibly important, obviously, and a share Shares are very important. Comments actually drive the algorithm like you wouldn't believe. The more engagement a video gets and the more interaction you have on your community tab, or the channel community tab, the better things go for the channel. So keep that in mind. And with that, be sure to, well, take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.